This is Jonathan Agger, 5th Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Shane Mcguigan here ahead of a double headliner for yourself this weekend, Dubois and Ellie Scotney on the card. Shane, how you doing first of all?
Yeah, good, thanks mate. Yeah, looking forward to Sunday night. Happy that I just cleaned that lens of yours, because you know he's a reporter with like crap all over his lens. No, looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward to it.
Have I gone down in your professionalism standards?
I feel like it's exactly where I thought you were.
Shane, listen, I want to start with Ellie Scotney because she's waited ages for this opportunity at Undisputed. Just talk to me about, 2 days out now, what it means, not just to her but yourself as well. You know, you've been there through the tough times, not only in the ring, outside the ring. For her to win this fight, for her family, for Georgia as well. Just talk to us the significance.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's like she's had such little fights, but she's been pro quite a long time, and I think to become undisputed. It's as Andy Scott said, she'll be the youngest undisputed British champion to date, and I think it'll be everything. I mean, she's a great person to work with, great human being, like right down to the core, good person, and pleasure to train, pleasure to work with, great boxing ability, and I think this is what she deserves. She's just what she deserves. She's had tough times. She's lost her nan. She's lost her really best friend in Georgia, and most of those times she's been in training camp starving herself down, and when you go through things like that, all you want to do is sort of have a bit of comfort eat and just take your mind off it and just relax, and she's never been able to do that, and always been looking at the next opportunity, looking at the next fight, and it's a credit to how professional she is, but I hope it all comes together on Sunday night.
She put on a near shot out in New York. Can we expect a similar thing, or do you feel like Flores will cause some problems? No,
I think Flores will win rounds. You can't throw that many punches and not, she's going to win rounds. It's just down to us to make sure that we win more. Do you know what I mean? It's 2-minute rounds. It's frantic. This girl throws so many punches. She's 4'11". We've had a fantastic training camp, but how can you prepare for a little whirlwind like her that comes in being so small? We'll hit her loads, but whether we'll hit her clean plenty is a different thing, because it's she's that size, and that being so small, it will work in her advantage, I believe. So yeah, we've got to stay disciplined, but we've also got to be dominant, because with someone that throws so many punches, it's easy for them to nick little rounds. So it's important that we get it right.
Despite the trash talk between Caroline and Terri, I sense quite a bit of respect that Caroline has for Terri, vice versa, I'm sure. What do you see from Terri at this stage of her career?
I think she's well prepared. I think she said it. She had the best training camp of her career. I think I talked to her previously in another interview saying that I think being at super featherweight was a stretch too far for her. I think she lost her punch resistance, and obviously then she's moved up to 147. I think she's had some fighters up at 154, but that's not really her natural size. This would be her natural weight. She's very big for the weight, and I think she's got great athleticism, and she's well schooled as well. She's got good technique, but I think the question mark's always how well she takes a shot, and Caroline's a big puncher, but Caroline as well has fantastic skill, distance control, explosiveness, changes the gears. I think she's levels above, and that's not being disrespectful. I think she's fresher as well, so we've got to just go out there and have respect of what's coming back, but be destructive.
And having this card on Sky Sports, the biggest broadcaster in the UK, how important for you is not only dealing with the training but the management as well, this deal, do you think?
It's great. It's great to see them back out, back broadcasting boxing. Obviously, with two different promoters as well. So obviously you got Zuffa and you got MVP. So it's going to be good to see their resurgence in boxing. They've 18 months out of the game nearly, I think it is. and they've always done fantastic numbers. The traction's always there. You know when Sky Sports, you know there's a fight on when Sky Sports are broadcasting it. You know, sometimes great fights on other platforms can go unnoticed, and they don't get the recognition, and they don't get the build-up, and it's the adverts and all of the build-up around it. So social media just doesn't carry into views. There's plenty of social media stars that have, like, you know, millions of followers, but they can't make that transition. I think there's a purity in Sky, and I think that's it's good to have them back on.
With, you know, Chris being a free agent currently, Zeem's, I believe, with Boxer, does it influence how you move them going forward with Sky back in terms of where, you know, who they sign with in the future?
I think where Chris is at his career, it's about big fights. So yeah, it's exactly what we're working towards.
Okay. Shane, just a quick one. Tomorrow night, Chisora Wilder. Day out. What do you think?
It's who's got the most left. Weirdly, I think Chisora's had the hardest career in heavyweight boxing in the last 30 years, I'd say he has, maybe more. You got the likes of Ken Norton and people like that were always in really hard fights, and George Chabello and things like that. But he's our era of those guys, and he's weirdly got more left, I think, than Deontay Wilder. Obviously, if Wilder detonates one of them shots, I think he has the punching power still to knock him out. But it's whether Deontay Wilder believes he's still a puncher, and he hasn't knocked somebody out in a long time. I think Hellenius was the last time he knocked somebody out cold, and even got sort of respect from. He stopped that guy in 4 rounds, but in terms of like detonating them shots that he used to detonate, that's been a long time. You know, and I just don't know if you got to believe that you've still got that power, because he has it, but it's whether he believes it and is committing to the shot. So, and Chisora's wild as anything. You know what I mean? He's as wild as anything, and he'll settle you with them swings over the top. So, weirdly, I'm still quite excited about it. But I do think that it would have been a mismatch years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. It would have been a mismatch because Wilder would have just been too hard of a puncher for him, and I think the tides have turned.
Next week on the Fury card, a guy you went up against years ago, Regis Prograis, faces Conor Benn. I don't know if you've been keeping up with, you know, the rumours that Prograis might be injured. That's what Eddie's claiming anyway. What threat is he to Benn next week?
No disrespect to Regis Prograis, he wasn't a threat anyway, and if he's injured, he's even less of a threat. He was such a good fighter. Like when Josh Taylor boxed him in the Super Series, he was like durable, you know, decent puncher, hard to hit clean, good footwork. Never the quickest, or like he never had like one amazing excelling trait. Probably his power was his excelling trait at that stage, but I just don't think he's 50% or 40% of the fighter that he once was, and he's at a weight that he shouldn't be at. Do you know what I mean? He's 37 years of age, my age, and he spent his whole career at 140, and now he's boxing at 150 pounds. Like that's what he's just given every advantage that he possibly could away. If I was him and his team, I would have been asking him to come down to 147, because a guy that's been boxing up at 160, boiling him back down to 147 would give him some form of chance in the fight. But I don't think he's got any.
You've seen a lot in boxing. If Conor Benn went back to Matchroom after this fight, would that surprise you, despite the back and forth?
Nothing surprised me in boxing, but that's what I said to. The last time I spoke to Eddie, I think he was talking some shit about somebody, one of my fighters, and I said, look, mate, like it's just, you might end up working with him one day, and he's so hot-headed and passionate, and he takes things so personal, but this is boxing, it's the game, and these fighters are always going to do what's right for them. And I think you've got to always look in advance. Remember Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. He was going out ripping Amir Khan 24/7, and then next thing you know, Khan signs with him. Do you know what I mean? And then he goes away again, and it's like
There's no way to leave though. With even in as a trainer, as a fighter, everywhere.
Of course, but that requires morals and and empathy, which a lot of these people don't have.
Last one, away from all of this, you're running the London Marathon again in a couple of weeks' time. Tell us about how your training's going and where people can donate and what charity it's for.
Thanks, mate. I've got to set up the donation page, but I'm running for a charity called Young Lives vs Cancer. It used to be a charity called Click Sargent, and Click was cancer, leukemia in childhood. Now, unfortunately, there's been multiple kids diagnosed with brain tumours and many different forms of cancer, and they've expanded to just basically young lives versus that terrible disease and cancer. And I think they helped us massively when my sister was like 11 years of age and to 13 going through treatment, and they house and facilitate families that can't afford it, and also just give them grief support and things like that, because they just don't know how to process it. And they're an amazing charity. I'm very proud to be running for them for the second year in a row, and hopefully I will put up a half decent time. Last year it was 3:07, I think it was. This year it's going to be in the 2. So a lot of training's gone into it, but it's just more about putting myself through 2 hours and 50 minutes of absolute hell, because unfortunately these kids and these families go through years, not just, we went through 2 years of enduring hospital appointments, and now kids can get sent home with cancer and chemo pumps and things like that, whereas we were literally in the hospital non-stop for over 2 years, and it's charities like that make it all possible.
Brilliant stuff. Well, when you get the donation page, we'll put something out for it. Shane, appreciate your time and best of luck this weekend.
Cheers, Jonathan. Thanks, mate.